Okay, so yesterday something kind of weird happened. And it's only been a few days since the last time I spoke about bots on this channel, but from the title of this video, you all know that the thing that happened yesterday is something to do with bots. So basically yesterday, if you went onto the games page on Roblox and you looked on the front page, you would have seen a certain game that looks very familiar to a lot of older Roblox players. And that game just so happens to be this fencing game right here. So basically fencing was a Roblox game that was created back in 2009, literally 10 years ago, and it was last updated in 2014. So like I said, it's a very familiar game to a lot of the older players on Roblox. And with it last being updated in 2014, it hasn't quite been this popular in a long time. Or with over 13,000 people playing, it definitely has not been this popular ever. But obviously it's somewhat popular at the moment because it was on the front page, which obviously it just screams red flags absolutely everywhere. So, we go and check out the servers, and of course, this fencing game has been botted. And it has been botted all the way to the front page. And in the last video I made about bots, we went over some of the games that have been botted to the front page recently, because it seems like every single day recently there has been more botted games on the front page than not botted games, which it's a very, very, very big problem, because not only are these games getting attention that they obviously do not deserve, but these games are also taking away front page places from games that actually deserve to be there. And although botted games may only be up on the front page for a short amount of time until they get deleted, it can still be somewhat very, very damaging to the games that actually deserve to be there. But you see, the thing with this fencing game that's a little bit different to the other games that get botted is that this game was actually created by a Roblox admin. Yes, that's right, fencing is a game that was created by Stickmaster Luke. And Stickmaster Luke is a very well-known admin, if not a very well-known developer. And I actually went into this fencing game whilst it was being botted yesterday just to see if I could see any of the bots. And of course, the first server I happened to join was just like any other normal server. There was actual people there playing this game. None of them seemed to look like bots or have names like bots. They were all actual seemingly real people playing this game. So then I went off to find a server that looked like it had bots but also had a space for another player, and I joined that server, and that's when things got kind of weird. So as you can see up in the top right corner, I actually managed to join a server that was filled completely with bots. They all had the bot names, they all dressed exactly like the bots, but the weirdest thing was I actually could not see a single one of these players in this game. And if you look at the player list in the top corner, you can see that I am the only person with wins and spree. The rest of the players do not have a number at all, which actually made me think that these bots just didn't load in the game at all. And in my last video about the bots, I actually played Heaven Simulator, and I think one of the comments I made was something along the lines of, I literally cannot see a single one of these bots, but where are the bots? Literally nowhere to be seen. So maybe there is something about the bot accounts that makes them not fully load into games, but they do still count towards the player count. And I don't know if you guys remember the whole situation with Deckerbox, but I'm pretty sure the reason he was terminated was one of his games got botted, but obviously it wasn't him that botted his own game, which is where I think this whole botting problem becomes a lot more complex, because it's obviously very difficult to determine whether the person who owns the game botted their own game, or if it was somebody completely unrelated to the game that botted the game. With this whole fencing situation, it's very obvious what happened. I'm 99.9% sure that Stickmaster Luke did not bot his own game. So obviously that was somebody else that botted that game for whatever reason. But for the other innocent players who aren't Roblox admins, and for the innocent players that Roblox aren't 100% sure are innocent, it becomes a lot more difficult to actually decide whether they did it or whether they didn't do it. But at the same time, they either get banned for botting the game and that's the end of that, or they get banned for botting their game but they didn't actually do it, and that's obviously very, very unfair, which has actually happened before, which is obviously very disappointing. But at the same time, what else are Roblox supposed to do? Because when it comes down to it, it's really like they let a botter get away or they ban somebody who didn't do it. But then yesterday, while I was going through the whole fencing game situation, another kind of old game popped up on the popular page, and the game was simply just titled Obby. And as you can see, this this game was created in June 2017 and it was last updated in June 2017. And it even had one of those "this game may not function as intended" messages because it hasn't been updated in so long. And this game was created by somebody called Alethic, so maybe some of you guys know who that is, or maybe you don't. I really have no idea, because, you know, I'm trying to think of a reason as to why these people are being targeted, because with Stickmaster Luke being an admin, it's, you know, kind of obvious why he got targeted. But the weird thing about this obby game is it was literally an obby, but like not completed, and, you know, not anywhere near to being completed. You know, the reason as to why this obby game got targeted it's very unclear to me. And, you know, I kept going to the front page, and every time I refreshed, the rating just went down and down and down. It started at like 40% the first time I saw it, and then I refreshed and it went to 20%, which is just another thing that adds to the list of reasons botting is very, very bad. Because if an innocent game that somebody is actually trying to work hard on gets botted, and, you know, obviously these people are going to dislike that game because it got botted, you know, it's just very damaging to the reputation of the game and the rating of the game. And, you know, just a few days ago, Albert actually tweeted out a picture. 7 of these games are botted. So out of 10 whole games on the front page, 7 of them were botted, which is an awful number, because like I said before, that's taking spots away from games that actually deserve to be there, which could end up being very damaging to those games. And I really have no idea if it's the same person botting all of these games, because it just really doesn't seem like 7 different people would bot their games to the front page at exactly the same time. But then all of these games that did get botted to the front page are all just either stolen games or very, very badly made. Like I said, I just really don't understand what gets these games targeted, or if it really just is a coincidence and all 7 of these people botted their games to the front page at the same time, which also takes me back to the whole punishing the right person thing, because I'm actually not sure if Roblox have a thing that shows who is actually doing the botting, but, you know, from previous situations we've had, I'm pretty sure they don't. So, you know, the only thing that they can do right now to ensure innocent people don't get wrongly banned is just don't ban anyone, which also then lets the botters get away with it, so it's just always a lose-lose situation. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of the botters targeting an admin and, you know, the whole botting problem as a whole. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.